Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Kseniya and I make videos for people who, like myself, are going through the family-based immigration process. I'm not an immigration attorney. My videos are based on publicly available information, my own experience, and the experience of my subscribers. In today's video, we're going to talk about two different pathways to becoming a permanent resident via a family-based petition. These two pathways are the adjustment of status process and the consular process. This video hopefully will serve as kind of an introductory guide for you because you are maybe thinking of applying for a family-based green card and starting the whole process. However, you may not necessarily know where to even begin. So in today's video, I'm going to break it down for you guys, the general steps involved in the process, and then I will also, throughout my video, I will be guiding you to the videos on my channel, which will talk a little bit in more detail about certain steps in the process. So the two main pathways, as I have already mentioned earlier in this video, are the adjustment of status and the consular process. The main difference between the two is that the adjustment of status process is available for applicants who are currently residing inside the United States. And the consular process is for applicants who are currently residing outside the United States. So in any case, when you're trying to bring your relative to the United States, there are two main steps that are involved. Your first step is to petition for your relative, which means that you are giving USCIS a heads up that you have a relative that you would like to bring to the United States. This petition is a way for you to establish the relationship with the relative that you want to immigrate. And this is the same step for anyone, regardless whether or not you, as an intending immigrant, as this relative residing inside or outside the US. The very first step is to submit this petition, and the petition is known as I-130, Petition for Alien Relative. And this petition will serve as a first step, as a ground level for you to build your green card case. This I-130 petition must first be submitted to USCIS with all of the appropriate evidence proving your relationship with this person. This I-130 petition can be submitted either by mail or online. Again, it must be submitted by the petitioner, the person who is inside the United States who wants to bring their relative to the US. And the great thing about filing the I-130 petition online is that it's a much more streamlined process because you would be able to submit the form itself and all the required documents right online. And I do have a step-by-step guide on how to submit the I-130 petition online. It is the most detailed and the most comprehensive online I-130 guide that you will find to date. One of the main things to remember with the I-130 petition is that both U.S. citizens and permanent residents can petition for their relatives. The main difference is what kind of relative they can petition for. When you are a U.S. citizen petitioner, you can petition your spouse, your unmarried children under the age of 21, and your parents, and these fall under the immediate relative category. And you can also file for adult sons or daughters over the age of 21 and your siblings. And so these fall under the other type of relative. When it comes to permanent residents, however, they cannot petition as many people as a U.S. citizen can. Permanent residents can only petition their spouses, their unmarried children under the age of 21, and their unmarried sons and daughters over the age of 21. So now that you have filed the I-130 petition, it is time for you to move on to step 2, and that is for your relative to apply for their green card. However, not every relative can apply for their green card as soon as their I-130 is approved. And that is why we make a distinction between immediate relatives of US citizens and everybody else. So other relatives of US citizens and relatives of permanent residents. So when it comes to immediate relatives of US citizens, once their I-130 petition is approved, they can go ahead and apply for their green card immediately. So once the I-130 is approved, they have a green light to apply for a green card, and that is because there is never a limit on the amount of green cards available every year for immediate relatives of US citizens. However, when it comes to everyone else, to find out what your spot in line is, you will have to look at the visa bulletin and also be familiar with what category you fall under. And I do have a video as well talking about how this visa bulletin situation works and how to understand when will you finally be able to apply for your green card. Once you figure out what your preference category is, this is where the two processes begin to branch off. So the relatives who are currently residing inside the US will be able to go ahead and adjust their status, and then the relatives who are residing outside the United States will have to go through the consular processing. If you are eligible for adjustment of status and you're currently residing inside the United States, you can go ahead and do that by submitting the form I-485, the application for adjustment of status form. This form is also known in general terms as the application for a green card. One note that I wanted to make: immediate relatives of US citizens, such as spouses, children under the age of 21, and parents of US citizens can actually go ahead and file their I-485 form at the same time as their I-130 petition. So you combine the two steps in one, and this is known as concurrent filing. And I do also have a video talking about concurrent filing and how it works. And right now, actually, you will note that spouses and children of green card holders are also eligible for concurrent filing. Everyone else, like I said, will have to wait for their I-130 petition to be approved first. Then they will have to wait for their priority date on the visa bulletin, and then they will be able to apply for a green card to adjust their status. When it comes to submitting this adjustment of status application, the form I-485, there are additional documents that are involved. I have a video also talking about the list of forms that is required. One of the biggest parts of this whole process is the I-864 affidavit of support form, which has to be filled out as well to kind of demonstrate that your petitioner is financially responsible for you and will support you throughout this process, so you don't become reliant on public assistance. I have an entire playlist on my channel talking about the affidavit of support form. That playlist has all the necessary information that you may possibly need. As an applicant inside the US, you are also eligible to submit two more forms. That is the form I-765, which is the employment authorization document form, and the other one is the I-131, which is the advanced parole form. These two forms will allow you to work inside the United States before you receive your green card, and they will also allow you to travel temporarily overseas and come back while your green card is still pending. You will also have to submit a medical examination, which you will be able to send in with your I-485 application right away, or what a lot of people do is they will wait for their interview invitation and then they go and get it done. I also have a video talking about this medical exam, when to submit it, when to file it, when is the best time to actually get it done. So check out that video as well. After you submit this application, you will be invited for a biometrics appointment, which will probably happen at a field office closest to where you currently reside. In that appointment, they will take take your photograph, your fingerprints, and your signature. And then after the biometrics appointment, the next step generally is to wait for your green card interview. And in the meantime, after your biometrics are done, you will receive your employment authorization and your travel document. And then with those, you can work, you can travel temporarily until you get an invitation for a green card interview. After your interview, hopefully you will get approved, and after that you will receive your green card in the mail. So that is the adjustment of status process. Now let's talk about the consular process, which is the second route for relatives who are currently residing outside the United States. So in terms of the consular process, relatives who are currently residing outside the US will first have to get the I-130 petition approved. And once it is approved, USCIS will then transfer this approval to the National Visa Center for pre-processing. During this pre-processing, the NVC will send you an invitation letter informing you to create an online account with them and to submit all the necessary paperwork and applications in order for you to begin the green card process. And when it comes to immediate relatives of US citizens, once this I-130 petition is approved, it will get transferred right away to the NVC, and the NVC will send you a welcome letter which will guide you to create this online account and submit all the documents. The process is pretty streamlined. Now, if you are any other type of relative, you will have to wait for the I-130 petition to be approved, but then you may not hear from the NVC for many years, depending on, again, what we talked about earlier, your spot in line on this visa bulletin. The application for a green card for people who are going through the consular process is not the same application as for people who are currently inside the US. People who are going through the consular processing will submit a form known as DS-260, and you will be guided to that form through the online portal. Once all of these documents that they're asking for are submitted and approved, the NVC will then begin working with the US embassy that's located in your home country to start scheduling you for a green card interview. Once they're able to schedule you for an interview, prior to the interview, you will be required to go get a medical exam done. When it's time for you to go to the interview at this embassy, you will also have your biometrics appointment at that time, which means they will take your photo, your signature, and your fingerprints, and as well they will keep your passport for the time being. And then after the interview, if you are approved for a green card, your passport should come in the mail to you with a green card in it. It's kind of like a big sticker inside of your passport. The stamp in your passport is also known as the I-551 stamp. So that is basically your green card. It's just not a physical green card. You will have about 6 months from the date it was issued to you to actually enter the United States. Once you enter the United States, you will receive your physical green card in the mail at the address which you have requested during your application process. This process between you entering the US and physically receiving a green card can take a little bit of time. It can take between 2 to 3 months to actually receive the physical green card in the mail, but that does not mean that you are not a permanent resident. And once you step foot on the US soil with that approved sticker in your passport, you automatically become a permanent resident. You activate your permanent residency status. This is basically the summary of these two processes. However, the video is not over yet. Stick around because I want to talk about additional things that you should consider. Firstly, not everyone is eligible to adjust their status due to many factors, such as whether you entered the US illegally or without inspection, whether you overstayed your visa and have been undocumented for many months or even years, whether you have worked in the United States without authorization, or if you have committed a crime. Some things may be forgiven for you. So for instance, if you are an immediate relative of a US citizen, things like working without authorization and visa overstay are forgiven. However, when it comes to people who have entered without any inspection, who have crossed the border, for example, or if you have committed any crimes that are considered bars to adjustment, in that case, you really cannot adjust status, and you must first submit a waiver, so asking for the Department of State to forgive you for these offenses. And then if they deem that you are forgiven, you may be able to continue and either adjust your status or go through the consular processing. You really should not be doing it on your own in situations like these. You really need an immigration attorney. Secondly, not everyone will receive a 10-year green card. Usually, when you receive a green card, it is valid for 10 years. However, in a lot of marriage-based cases, if at the time of you receiving your green card, you and your spouse have been married for less than 2 years, you will receive a conditional green card, which will only be valid for 2 years. What that means is you will have to eventually change this green card from a conditional green card to an actual 10-year green card. And this process is known as removal of conditions. And I have a video talking about this process. Thirdly, I want to talk about the fees when it comes to consular process versus adjustment of status. When it comes to the adjustment of status process for applicants from within the US, for the I-130 application, for the petition, you will pay $535. And then for the adjustment of status application, the I-485, the basic fee is $1,225. When it comes to the consular process, the fees are a little bit different. So the I-130 fee is the same. It's the $535. The DS-260 fee, which is the fee for the actual application for green card, which right now is $325, I believe. Then you will also have to pay an affidavit of support fee, which is right now $120. That is for them to process your affidavit of support and your financial evidence. And then you will also have to pay the immigrant fee, and that is the fee for the actual physical green card to be processed, issued, and mailed to you. And right now that fee is $220. And you can pay it either before you leave your home country or after you arrive in the United States. There are additional fees involved that you will have to pay, such as the fee for the medical examination that you will have to do, and it all depends on the doctor and the country where you are. And finally, I wanted to talk about whether or not you can switch from adjustment of status to consular processing, or from consular processing to adjustment of status, whether that's even possible. So when it comes to changing from consular processing to adjustment of status, it's actually fairly easy. If at the time of the I-130 petition you have indicated that you are planning to apply for a visa overseas, but at some point you end up inside the United States, you find out that you are actually eligible to adjust status, then you can go ahead and simply submit the adjustment of status application with USCIS by submitting the I-485 form that I have mentioned earlier. The situation is more complicated for people who have indicated that they're planning to adjust their status inside the US, and then something happens, you leave the country, and then now you have to continue the process from overseas. In that case, unfortunately, you will have to submit an additional form known as the I-824 form. This form basically notifies USCIS to transfer your case to the NVC. And unfortunately, this form costs an additional $465. And the I-824 form takes a very long time. Some people wait between a year to 2 years to have their case transferred from USCIS to the NVC. A lot of emergencies happen, situations do happen, and maybe you will have to leave the country, which is fine. But just keep in mind that there will be additional costs involved in that. So I know this video was very long, but I hope that now you understand the general idea of how this whole family-based immigration process works. I hope that you found this video useful. Please give this video a thumbs up so more people can see it, so we can help more people. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Good luck with your application process, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Bye!